This sort of repertoire we don't get to play very often because it's really chamber orchestra repertoire, and we play more the big stuff like Mahler, Wagner and all that. So for us it's particularly enjoyable to get to explore this music. And for instance, the Holberg Suite and the Elgar Serenade, I mean, these are two of the most loved and most often performed string orchestra works in the repertoire. And then, of course, adding the Corelli gives a bit of variety. So we have music that was composed in the 1680s, you know, Corelli's Concerto Grosso, which he wrote a set of 12, and this was a new style, and it's some of the finest examples of Concerti Grossi, which features, in this case, a first violin, a second violin, and a cello with solo interventions. Interesting enough, it was coming out at the same time as Vivaldi made the more traditional concerto very popular, where the soloist playing really virtuosic solo passages. In Corelli, these are just small interventions. And then the Holberg Suite was written about 200 years later. But this is an exercise in new classicism. So it's written during the Romantic era, but using the musical style of the previous century. And then Elgar Serenade was written 8 years later, and this is very early Elgar. This is probably one of his earliest pieces that survived into today's standard repertoire. So very early Elgar, but the second movement already gives us a glimpse of what the mature Elgar became later on. So for us it's just very exciting. I mean, there was no intellectual thought in putting together this specific program. This is purely for the enjoyment of playing together again, because after about 115 days of not playing together, this was a nice way of rediscovering each other's company and just not talking about music anymore, but actually playing it. So we're just happy to be here, and we thought it was a beautiful program to reunite us, because this is the biggest group since we came out of lockdown, getting together. So we're just happy to be here and to be playing again.